heard a rumor that there are Stay Puft Marshmallows at Walmart. No, not here. Oh, hello. Oh, that's the full-size ones. I don't see the minis. Well, don't worry. They eventually got the minis in stock too. So here are some regular Stay Puft Marshmallows. Here are some mini Stay Puft Marshmallows. Of course, seeing new Stay Puft Marshmallows in stores reminds me of the video that I shot back when we were snowed in. Or did I? I did not shoot it when we were snowed in, actually. That video where I was eating all the expired food has a lot of sleight of hand in it. A lot of editing tricks to make you think that I'm eating expired food, and in actuality I was not. The idea for that video came during quarantine in 2020. And so here we we're all in the house. I was trying to, you know, ration food a little bit so I would have to go to the grocery store less. And the idea came about. It was like, what if we were out of food? What if the store is closed? You know, what would we eat? Well, I've got all this Ghostbusters stuff around here. And then that kind of led to this fictional idea of I've run out of food and I'm eating all my collectible food items. And it was just going to be like a gag, you know, something to shoot during quarantine. But then people that I knew were posting on Facebook that they had COVID. People were posting that family members of theirs had COVID. People were posting that family members of theirs had died of COVID. And I thought, this is not the time for a joke video about quarantine. But you know what they say about an idea, you know, it's gonna be in there for a while. Well, flash forward to February 2021, we had all this snowfall, record snowfall, bigger snowfall than my kids had seen since they were very, very young, if then. And the idea came back. It was like, ooh, if you were snowed in and you had to eat your collectible food items, then we're not making fun of any situation that people are dying from. I mean, some people could die from being snowed in, but that might be the spin for the topic. Aha! The thing was, I always knew I was not actually going to eat the expired food. And I didn't have the fake substitute food on hand to eat. So I shot the scene where I'm out in the snow first, that day, while we had snow on the ground. I'm running out of food. And I'm wondering, should I break into my emergency collector stores, specifically the Ghostbusters items? A few hours later, I shot the scene where I run outside and pretend to vomit, which actually was 2 takes. It's the video from 1 take where the camera was way far away. So glad this thing didn't fall off. second take where the camera was in my hand and you heard the feet crunching in the snow and you heard the noise. So I actually had to shoot it twice and combine it editorially. And then, after, you know, the roads were clear, began buying, you know, currently available marshmallows, not these, but, you know, whatever the Jet Puffed brand was at the store. And then everything else that I would need, I think I wound up spending like $40, $50 on food to eat in the video, where I'm pretending to eat the food that was on hand because I didn't have food. It became like an exercise in excessiveness of saying, I need that, and I need that, and I need that, and I need that. So in the video, wherever you see me eating something, did you really see me eat it? Because the cereal was not really the cereal. When you thought you saw me eat these cereals, you didn't, and I can prove it because I still have the cereal. Green, here's the pink for the Stay Puft. Now I did want to open those boxes so that I could get the little figures out for my Funko collection. But I didn't want to eat the cereal because even at the time that I was filming that, it felt a little damp and soggy in there, which I don't think it should have. So my solution was to sell the fact that I'm eating all these collectibles. I will let you see me open those boxes for the first time on camera, and then show you the bags of cereal, and then I will eat some Fruit Loops. And I went through the Fruit Loops and I picked out just the pinks and the greens and made a giant bowl of it. This should be a pretty fun little video. Lots of sleight of hand will be involved. I may try to keep a running commentary as I go of how certain effects were achieved. So as you can see on the day I'm shooting this, there is no snow on the ground anymore. That was a week ago, 9 days ago. And I'm not actually eating that cereal that you just saw me open. I'm picking through a big box of Fruit Loops with marshmallows and just putting red and green pieces in a bowl. Get some of those wrong colors out. So appropriate. Can't even talk. So appropriately for the Christmassy looking snow outside, I've put the red and green cereal together in one big bowl. And you can even see that these are slightly bigger than Fruit Loops. So sleight of hand. And you sell it with your acting, and you say, it's a little crunchy. You know, it's just, you know, it's just me pulling your leg. It's just a gag. You're saying, but what about that High C Ecto Cooler? We saw you drink like 9 cans of that. Did you? Did you really? This one was a little bit trickier, but I was really proud of the result because, first of all, you have to have duplicates. In this case, I had a box left with 3 unopened cans, and I had 12 more unopened cans. So you show this one first, you never show both at the same time, and then you take one of these empty cans that I had saved, and that's the key, is a lot of this stuff was achieved by the fact that I had both full and empty versions of it. You put a liquid inside the empty can and set it off camera. You hold up a full can, you drop it down out of frame, and you pop the top on a recently purchased can of ginger ale. So you see a full can, you hear the pop top sound effect, then I pick up a duplicate can and pour it into the mug and make a comment about, I don't remember it being that color, because I haven't opened a real one. I just took some watermelon lime refresca from work and brought some home. A real can. A different can that I can pop the top on for the noise. A preset empty can that I poured watermelon lime refresca into, and then I'll make the switch and pour that into my Ghostbusters mug. Now, this particular case of Ecto Cooler, let's see if it's got an expiration date on it. Yes, January 02, 2017. My birthday. Cool. January 02, 2017. That was my birthday of that year. So this particular case was a gift from a guy at the Link Center in Tupelo. Brandon and I had gone down there and done a quote along for him, and so we had the wonderful experience down there of doing the movie and everything. So and then he came and saw us. We went and ate at Trowbridge's. We thought was a wonderful Florence-y kind of a place to take him. And he said he'd actually been there before when his sister went to UNA. So here we go. I don't remember this being that color. Evil. I know. It's all evil sleight of hand. Actually, there were multiple takes of that, because the first time I did it, I had the glass mug backwards. So the logo was towards me instead of towards camera. And I'm like, I can't use that one. I'm gonna have to reset everything. I had to like pour the watermelon lime refresca back into the can, you know. So yeah, the resets on some of these were kind of funny in order to maintain the illusion. How about some High C Ecto Cooler? So I'm gonna pop one of those out of here. And all right, here we go. Making a mess. I don't remember that being that color. Do you? I should be holding the mug the other way. We're going to redo that. So, big thanks to Derek Russell for getting us all that stuff. And I don't think I'll drink the whole ones. I'll save these for Debbie and the boys. Big thank you to Brandon for answering my Facebook question about what the guy's name was. Drew a blank. Could not find him on Facebook. What were some of the other tricks that I used? Let's look. For instance, here are the roaster marshmallows that I actually ate on camera when I pretended to be eating the sucker. Where is the sucker? Where is that sucker? Another tricky shot in there was when I pretended to eat this guy. So this guy was, the substitute food for him was a roaster marshmallow by Jet Puff. S'mores, vanilla marshmallows, the big ones that are designed for s'mores. And the shaft was actually from one of these guys. My wife loves these suckers. They're called lollies. So I bought some lollies and took the stick from a lolly and just stuck it in a roaster. And in the same piece of video where I held this up, I then just set that down, put this in my mouth, and spliced out the pieces in between. Later I found this shaft, which actually was closer in diameter to the actual Moogly shaft than these were. These were actually a little too thick on camera. That's the tell if you go back and watch the video. Oh, don't look at me like that. Your time has come. Your time has come. This is my Moogly cookie. It's been in a couple of videos now. You didn't actually see me eat it on camera. You saw me eat another iced oatmeal cookie. And even a hint of a face in there for this Moogly. But, you know, I've been thinking about it. It's like, why am I hanging on to something that's just going to rot? You know? So, what the heck? Now that one was a total fluke because I never ate a Wayback Burger, but it just so happened that some little plastic, you know, skewer things to go in the top of a Wayback Burger had shown up on eBay and I'd bought them. So I had these on hand and had not yet used them in a video, and I thought, aha, we just introduced that Wagyu bacon cheeseburger at work. Red Lobster for the Japanese beef lover in you. And I really liked the Wagyu bacon cheeseburger. So I bought one as my employee meal one night, but I didn't eat it. I brought it home, put it in the fridge, finally shot this video about 4 days later, and stuck the little skewer in there. But the thing was, I thought it ought to look like moldy. And I had the idea that for mold, I could use cotton candy. Because it kind of has that fibrous, you know, sort of like, attic insulation look to it, you know. But what I discovered was, number one, I couldn't find green cotton candy, so I bought red and blue, pink and blue. What I discovered was that when you leave a burger in your fridge for 4 days and you take it out, while you're setting up your camera shots and everything, the cold burger begins to have condensation on the surface, water. And then you're putting cotton candy on it, sugar, and so it starts breaking down where it's touching the burger. And it never was a convincing effect, so I just kind of made reference to it, and I added the line, I improvised the line about it tasting like penicillin or something. So the next piece of my video is going to require me to doctor up this burger. This is a Wagyu cheeseburger from where I work. We just recently added these to the menu. So it's got the look of a big, fancy, expensive burger. And it looks kind of old because I bought this Thursday night and it's been in my refrigerator. Today's Monday. So the French fries are looking pretty dilapidated. There's grease collected here. Thomas put it on wax paper, so I just now put the burger on the bun. But I'm going to doctor it up a little bit further with some cotton candy, hoping that I can make it look like there's mold on it. Well, I wish I could have found green cotton candy instead of blue, but oh well. Now, in addition to all the sugary stuff, I might have a little something here. This is the Ghostbusting burger from Wayback Burgers, circa 2016. So in addition to all this sugary stuff, let's have the main meal of the day. You know, you gotta have a little protein. So in addition to all this sugary stuff, you gotta have some protein. So now it's time for the main meal of the day. Sherman set the Wayback Machine for Wayback Burgers in 2016. I just knocked that in the floor and it made a noise. Hang on. So, after all this sugary stuff, breakfast cereal, now it's time for lunch. You know, you gotta have some protein at lunchtime. So, Sherman set the Wayback Machine for way back burgers in 2016. So here we go. I figure, you know, if a Big Mac can survive a nuclear war, then this burger's probably okay after 5 years' time. It's got some weird spots on it, look kind of green and fuzzy, but oh well. Take that out. Save that guy. Here we go. Food, real food. This will make me feel better. What tastes like penicillin? It's actually pretty good. Even to be from Thursday to Monday old, with sugar added to it, cotton candy added to it. It still has a nice flavor. Okay. Old burgers is one thing. Old fries is completely different. That's just nasty. And then he ate it anyway. Old cold fries are the worst. But I'm hungry. Really am, Mother. Just a little bit dry. It's still recording. Oh God, I didn't know that it was still recording. The last French fry is stuck in the grease. Ooh. That greasy French fry was actually pretty tasty. And the best part is, when you're done, you actually pick your teeth with a moogly. It was just a fluke that I happened to have these recently purchased, had not shown them in a video yet, and then I'm like, oh, talking about food topics, I'll get that burger from work. Same thing with the Twinkies. This is a 5-year-old box of Twinkies from the 2016 movie, and it's full. And then you buy a modern box of Twinkies, and you pull a little switcheroo. And to get the sound effect of me opening the box, I actually had to do multiple takes again, so you can see how many times I had to slice. If you spoil a take like that, one of these sleight of hand takes that I've done again, you have to repack. So, okay. 10 new Twinkies in an old box that's pre-cut. I've got the box those Twinkies came in that I'm cutting to make the sound effect. And then I've got this box that I'm making you think I'm cutting into when I set it down. So little sleight of hand, goes out of camera range, cut this box, pick up this box to... Alright, so we gotta start over one more time. This is just the classic Twinkie flavor, and it was just different because it had it on the box. This was the key lime slime flavor, which was pretty awful. But they say that Twinkies would survive a nuclear war, so theoretically these ought to be okay, right? So when the video ended, I had 1.5 Twinkies left. I asked Debbie and Zach, did they want a Twinkie? They said yes. And I said, who wants the half and who wants the whole? She said she wanted the half, so I offer him the whole Twinkie. And Zach, what did you say?
That's a big Twinkie.
Whose kid is that? Now when I did the Krispy Kreme section, that one led me on a merry chase because I knew where these boxes were. I had like 4 of these pristine, unused Krispy Kreme boxes from the 30th anniversary. But I said, that won't work. This has to look like a box that I actually bought donuts in. So then it was necessary to go dig and find one that had actually contained donuts and still had chocolate residue inside of it. Now that sold the effect, but I knew I couldn't match what the Krispy Kreme donuts looked like, even though I had saved the little sugar toppers with the Ghostbusters logo and the Stay Puft hat. There was no way I was going to be able to duplicate those donuts. While looking for the boxes, though, I found this. And I said, aha, I can buy currently manufactured donut holes and work the Krispy Kreme stuff into the story that way. So went to Krispy Kreme, shot the scene the next day, kind of let them, stiffen up a little bit. But that was one of the ways in which people figured out that my video was fake, because Glenn Frederick over on GB Fans said, I bought it all until you were eating the donuts. I work with donuts for a living. I knew those were no more than, X number of hours old with his expertise and everything. And he had an interesting revelation. He said that the Stay Puft donut was actually made using a mold or a cutter for pumpkin donuts. That they just sort of rotated it and made it the hat instead of the stem. Which I immediately thought of the Fudgy the Whale cake that Carvel does, where this direction he's Fudgy the Whale and this direction he's Santa Claus. So they got two uses out of the same mold. All right. One of the trickier ones was the Rice Krispie treats. I thought, oh, no problem. I'll just go buy some Rice Krispie treats. But every Rice Krispie treat that was in stores at the time I was shooting the video had the wrapper with the heart shape on it that you could write a message to your Valentine. Every store I went to had Krispy treats like that. And I thought, well, I'll figure something out. So I bought like one large one and then unwrapped it part of the way and took half of it out so it looked like a smaller wrapper. And then by that point in the video, you weren't really paying attention to the sleights of hands, if you ever had been. Funny thing about Rice Krispie treats is all my life I have baked these things with my grandmother so many times as a kid, to the point that a regular Rice Krispie treat usually to me is not that familiar, not that big of a deal. Not that big of a deal. They're very crunchy. So I thought I got away with it by just sort of like, here's the box, reach in there, and then cut immediately to me eating something, and you see just a hint of wrapper that's already open. Funny thing about Rice Krispie treats is all my life I have baked these things with my grandmother so many times as a kid, and her recipe was like triple butter and triple marshmallows, and so we really made them ooey gooey, to the point that a regular Rice Krispie treat usually to me is not that big of a deal. They're very crunchy. But it too was not the correct wrapper for what was inside these boxes in, I don't know, what was that, 2014, 2016? All sleight of hand, folks. It's all sleight of hand. That whole thing with the Rice Krispie treat was pure pantomime. All right. Now, if I palm this, hopefully it's not going to look too dissimilar from that. So, only thing is, my firewood out there is all covered in snow, so I may have to take care of these guys over a candle or over the stove or something. But there we go.
filthy. The retakes are killing me. Got a napkin right here and I'm using my fingers. Like now the only thing is, my firewood out there is all covered in snow. So I'm probably gonna have to roast one of these over the stove, or maybe a candle, or what have you. But there we go. Now the only thing is, my firewood out there is all covered in snow. So I'm gonna have to roast these things on like open candle, or maybe on the stove eye or something, but let's see what we can do. Some things I had duplicates of and thought, well, I'll figure out a way to suggest that I'm, you know, destroying one or opening one, and I just couldn't bring myself to do it, because actually one of these was mine and one of these I borrowed from my mom. So it's just been sitting on her the corner of her kitchen cabinet for months and months and years and years. I guess that's everything. And as I'm shooting it, as I'm doing every sleight of hand, as I'm editing it, I kept thinking, this is so patently obvious that these things are being faked. You know, that people are going to know that I didn't actually do that. They're going to spot the cut. They're gonna question it. You know, a couple of hours after I posted it on YouTube and shared it on Facebook, there was a guy, this comment pleased me no end, because he was like, I don't think that we should be celebrating someone that does this to themselves, that they get what they deserved. And I'm like, oh man, not only did he think it really happened, but he's judging me for doing it. I was like, I know it works now. So yeah, I was very proud of how that video turned out, and I was very proud of the response that it got. I never threw up. I never ate the foods you think I ate. So I can be a tricky guy sometimes. Anyone that saw that video and thought I was really eating that stuff, thank you, and I apologize. So, but as always, thank you for watching.